Hello there, good evening everybody. Nice to have your company today. What's your weather like? Where in the world are you? It's rather lovely here in Lincolnshire. If not a little torrential at times, which is a bit odd. Hello, Alana Petite. Expecting lots of pink parcels over the next few days. Sandra, Merrick McHugh. Hello to you. There's Sandra. I don't know who we've got on YouTube as yet. Can't see. Oh, Angela, hello. On YouTube and on the website we have Sarah. Hello, Sarah. Oh, we're busy already today, which is lovely. Can you see me on Facebook? Because I've got a whirly thing, so just let me know because I can't see a thing. Hello, Ruby. Hello, Coco. Hello, Ruby. Sit. Walkies. Hello, Michelle, Mandy. Suzanne and Carolyn, Ita, and hi y'all in Mississippi, says Tonya, and Kathleen in Ohio. Oh no, you're not. From USA, she says. Hello. Afternoon. Oh, now then, let me know on Facebook what's going on. I have a blank page now, although your messages are coming up. Oh, lovely. Okay, I'll refresh and see what happens. Maybe it's just me at my end. So I received a book on Saturday, it's fabulous. Thank you very much. Lost favourites were called together now. Oh, well, I'll carry on regardless. Marilyn, lovely to hear from you as well. Oh, there we are. I can't see you, of course. Oh, Helen, were you waiting at 2? Sorry, yes, we're going to be 4 on a Wednesday from now on. And again, we're on the website. And hello, Nails by Lisa. First time live, welcome along. Hello, Debbie Dane, Stacey. I'm waving around my, I'm waving my bamboos about. We've got them back in stock on the website and they only went on this morning. They've been really busy already. And in this hour, I'm going to make and show you how to design a bag to go with them. So it's just the handles, you don't get instructions or anything like that. So you can make whatever you like. So I think, did I put it on the blog, the last bag I made? Going to make a bigger one slightly different with this one as well. Hello Jane and hello Dominica. Oh, morning to you from New South Wales in Australia. Are we in the middle of the night in Australia? I don't think it went down too well when we changed the time. Pamela in Stoke, we're okay in Stoke, aren't we? Right, Sue's got a pink bag today. Let me just mention with the website, we've had, so I'm just losing things that I need to demo with, an awful lot of orders go through since we had the sale at the weekend. Kim has finally, she's just sent me a message this afternoon saying we're up to date. So it's literally taken 4 days to get through all of your orders. So apologies if your confirmation emails haven't been sent out straight away. It has literally taken us 4 days, the pair of us, to go through all of those orders. Now, we asked her 1:04 a.m. in Australia. So are you up early or up late? Got the tennis. Oh, that's all right, Maura. Gary's probably watching tennis as well. Hello, Helen in Antigua. Yes, website-wise, we have had all of the new graphics for the new website, so hopefully within the next couple of weeks it will be all nice and new and shiny and behave a lot better. It's been protesting somewhat. I'm very good, thank you, sir. Over the last 4 days with it being so busy, and I think in our website's little mind, when we've sold out of a few things, it's thought, no, I'll carry on selling them, I will. And I think there's 2 or 3 of you that I'm afraid we had to cancel orders because we've overstocked. Don't know how it happens. Shouldn't go into minus numbers, but on a couple of occasions it has, so I'm sorry about that. But you have been notified if we can get more stock, or if we can't, you've had refunds. So out of the thousands of orders that we had, I was quite pleased there was only a couple that kind of went wrong, so I do apologise if yours was one of them. And thank you for putting up with us and bearing with us. We wouldn't be doing all of this if it wasn't for your support. Hello Helen, says hello Debbie and Kim. Debbie Baker is in Ontario in Canada. Happy she gets to watch us. Oh, lovely. Yeah, thank you for your support over the last couple of years now, actually. We've been running the website. And actually, I just wanted to say as well, with the Half Yard Club that I run with Search Press, we've got quite a decent team. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 of us working on that website. With the Debbie Shaw Sewing website, it's me and Kim. So when we have been really busy, and I've literally been up at 5:30 in the morning and driving down to the office and helping Kim with the orders and everything. So thank you for putting up with us, because it's only the two of us working very hard. And Lana's got a round handle, oh lovely, with toweling. Joan, that's a good idea. Let me have a think about what to make with towel. Oh, I'll just show you actually. Before we start on our bag, we've got some new colours of it. Well, I say new, they've been there a few days and you found them, but I haven't shown them to you yet. I'll have a think what we can do with toweling that doesn't need a pattern. Look at that. This is the most beautiful colour. I said to Kim, because she orders all of this stuff, you know, nothing to do with me. But I said to her when this arrived, I absolutely love that colour. Oh, I hope we do it justice on your screen. Just enjoy my G&T. Do you know the G&T, Gin and It, Tina, was just tonic water with a blooming piece of onion in it. I don't know what he was playing at. I think he thought it looked pretty. He was serving me what looked like a G&T before midday on Saturday, but it wasn't G&T. Anyway, that's the aubergine, plum, can't remember. And we've got a dark grey as well, which is, dark grey's been really popular actually over the last few days. The colour changed when I changed camera. Did it, Linda? Sorry. I think the one in front of me is more accurate, to be honest. It looks a bit dirty there, but it's actually quite deep and quite rich. I'll just show you on that one. There you go. I can't remember what colour. I'm sure it was aubergine. And then there's the dark grey. So we've sold out of the white completely. We will be getting more back in stock. We've sold out of the pink. We've sold out of the pale blue. We do still have some of the, I think this one's called Sea Spray. And this is the bamboo. I've got the navy as well. The bamboo toweling. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really, really soft. And I know I've said before, but bamboo is one of the most sustainable plants to make fabric from. No pesticides, it's antibacterial. It grows like grass. It is grass. So you can chop it down and it regrows, and it's lovely stuff. Jenny's expecting a pink parcel. Everybody's pink parcel should be coming out very, very soon. Who was that saying thank you? Sorry, my messages kind of scroll, so I miss people. Jackie, you and Kimberly do a great job running your shop. Thank you. Thank you. We've said a few times, you know, we should have staff really. But I can't imagine running it any other way. We run ourselves silly with it because we've got all the other work to do as well. Sue says, perfect time for live stream. Lovely. Toweling turbans. That's a good idea. Hello, Justine in France. Anyway, we're going to design a bag. So I've kind of started it. And I'm using the Decovil Heavy. I've actually changed the title on the website to Heavy, so we know which one's which. So it's going to be quite a firm bag. So if you haven't used this before, it feels a little bit leathery. It comes in two weights. One's quite soft, this one is quite stiff. So we're going to have a really nice structured bag. And the shiny side is adhesive, so it's going to stick on the back of the fabric. This is the one, oh thank you very much, Samdula. Karen's got a pink towel. This is the one that I made the bag with the other week using the Venice viscose. That really I haven't got it because I've been giving stuff away over the weekend, and that's gone to Nancy in America. So if you're watching Nancy, you're going to be getting a bag. But yeah, it makes even the finest fabric really nice and firm, which means that you can use fabrics that you don't expect that you could use for bag making when you've got the right kind of interfacing. So with this bag, it's going to be quite big, and it's going to have a flap that goes over the middle, and that's how it's going to attach to the strap. So I've kind of started stitching, drawing out half of it already, and I don't think I can zoom back enough so that you can see all of it. So let me show you here first. I've drawn a rectangle which is 19 inches down this way and 18 inches across that way. So first thing to do is to draw a big square. Oh gosh, excuse me. Alison's postie recognised the pink parcels. Our postman talks about us, you know. We have because deliverers are still coming to our house at the moment. We have quite a few coming in. Yes, both will be fine, Paula. I have quite a few coming in from the Far East, and if it's hardware, you know, rectangle rings and snaps and things like that. They come in very solid white packages about that big, and they look like bricks. And our postman delivers them. Got another delivery for you. Yeah, I hope he doesn't spread. I don't care if he spreads rumours around the village. We're hopefully moving soon. Well, I don't want to talk about that. Anyway. Okay, Facebook is working. You're watching on the big screen. Oh, Sonia, I hope we're not too close up. Thank you, Sarah, on the website. So I've done half of it. Let me show you what I've done. I haven't actually made this bag like this, so I'm hoping it's going to work. So first of all, big rectangle, 18 inches across, 19 inches down. Then you're going to measure 7 inches down one side and put a line. And then we're going to measure, because this is 18 inches, that's 3 lots of 6, is it not? So we're going to measure 6 inches across, 6 inches across, and that'll give me 3 sections. So this is the flap down the centre, so let's draw a line down here. Isn't quite 6 inches, but you know what I mean. And across there. Okay, so we don't want that. And we don't want that. This is going to be the flap. So I've measured 2 inches from the top of this section and then a point up to the centre, like so. And then 2 inches across the side here. This is going to be like the belly of the bag, if you like. And that's going to go all the way down to the bottom here. If this works, because I haven't made it before, I'll try and do. I keep saying we'll do these YouTube videos, but I just haven't had time. But I will endeavour to do a YouTube video. So you've got centimetres as well. Hello, Caroline. Oh, thanks, Kath. I'm very good, thank you. Glad you're liking the book. We're sold out of the book, So Eco, by the way, so it's back on pre-order. But I've been promised I will have more stock tomorrow. So if you're waiting for a book, it shouldn't be too long. Oh, Jeanette. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. The prizes that were sent out over the weekend were random. Kim does this thing with a one of these things that generates names, a computer thing. So we're not personally responsible for who these go out to, because I don't want to be accused of favouritism, do I? So yes, it was a surprise to us who got what, but I'm glad you're pleased with them. Posty make of all the... I know, Helene. We have 2 postmen, and they both bring biscuits for the dog, and she adores them, as you can imagine. And they've both actually said, you don't get this where you're moving to, you know. You don't get your dog being fed dog biscuits. I hope they do. I think it's quite nice. So that's going to be the shape of my bag. So that is going to go through there. And I'm going to put a fake button. Well, it's not a fake button, it just doesn't fasten on the front, just to pretty it up a bit. So the fabric, oh, you need 2 of those. So I've already done one. So you can use one then as a template to cut out another exactly the same. So you've got 2 pieces that look like this. The fabric that I'm going to use is this one, which again it's a brighter orange. There's a little bit dull on that camera for some reason. Thanks, Alison. So this is, it's a really lovely peachy colour. I can't remember what the fabric's called actually. And I'm going to mix it with the sage. So the sage is going to be my lining, which also means that when the flap comes over the top, that's going to be in sage, because that's all part of the lining. And then I thought I'm going to do a covered button just on the front in this fabric again, just to tie it all in. So that's a plan. So what we need to do now is to iron the Decovil onto the wrong side of the outer fabric. Now this is a non-directional fabric, so I can really make the most of it. And I am going to cut a seam allowance around the edge, so I don't want it to go too close to the edge of my fabric. So you should be able to, I know that's the wrong way round. You should be able to easily get this bag out of 2 half meters of fabric. That'll do. Iron on, give it a press. It's nice, isn't it, Susan? This is one of those that we've had for a while, but I was saying to Kim earlier on, what shall I use to make this bag with? What goes with the bamboo handles? And this is the first one that she went to. And she's normally right. Hello, oh, Nancy, hi, hello. Did you hear I'm sending you a bag? You got computer generally chosen to have a bag sent out to you. You've got a few orders coming through, actually. Alright, and your pots fabric is on its way as well. We'd sold out of it, but we've got it back again. So what time is it where you are, Nancy Hyde? Alana's just received a parcel, honestly. Okay, so nice hot iron on this one. Don't use steam. You do have a little bit of wiggle time if you're using Decovil, because while it's hot, the glue's still melting. It's when it dries it goes really firm. So I'm just going to go around the edges particularly. If you get any wrinkles or anything, I normally like to start in the middle and go outwards, so you're not pushing the fabric to one side or another. But while it's still warm, you can kind of peel it back and smooth out any wrinkles, because these things happen. I wish we could do that in real life. Oh, Helen's joined the Half Yard Club. Welcome along. We're coming up to 3 years old, you know. Okay, I'm just going to give that just another minute, and then we'll cut it out. I'd normally use my rotary cutter. Can't talk today. Rotary cutter, ruler and mat, but oh, Sonia, my granddaughter loves Paw Patrol. It's one of her favourite things. 11 AM in Kentucky. Oh, that's quite a reasonable time, isn't it, Kathy? So, I'm going to be sewing up against the edge of the Decovil. So I'll need a seam allowance, and let's do that at 1/2 inch. Again, normally, because these are all straight lines, I'd be using my rotary cutter, ruler and mat. But for speed's sake, oh, Sheena, it was lovely. And mind you, 6-year-olds get distracted, don't they? It was quite funny. So we made, first of all, we just sewed. So she got used to using the foot pedal. We sat at a little coffee table so she could reach the floor. And she got used to the foot pedal and guiding the fabric and pushing it a bit too fast and pulling it, but then just guiding it. Then we made a bag out of felt. So literally just a piece of fabric folded over, you know, the kind of thing. And then put a handle on it. But she got, so I was helping her kind of steer the fabric. She was putting her foot down, but the TV was on. And so she'd sew for a little while and then just go, I haven't frozen, I'll do an impression. So I sat and waited, and I sat and waited. Because I didn't want to force her to do it, so I just sat and waited, and then eventually she'd come round and go, oh, okay, and carried on sewing. So we made, I made the felt bag. And then she wanted to make a doll. It's the funniest looking doll, honestly. But she loves it. It was, again, made from felt, and she drew a face on it with fabric marker pens. And and we made a felt dress for it. It had felt hair. It's hilarious, but she absolutely loved it. We went out for dinner afterwards, because it was on my birthday. She took me out for dinner. And she took it into the restaurant with her. She was showing it to people. It was lovely. Thank you, Kathy. Right. So pretty accurate with the seam allowance. It doesn't have to be spot on 1/2 inch. It could be just under, just over, as long as it's the same all the way around, because we'll use this as a template then to cut the lining out of. So of course we're going to need 2 of these, one for the front, one for the back. Not putting any pockets in this. So we've got 2, well, one of those at the moment, so let's do the other one. Just want to make sure that's stuck down. Could do the little bit more in the corners, I think. A little bit more heat. I did have a lovely day, Sheena, thank you. We are making Craft Angel 74, a bag to go with the bamboo handles that are back in stock on my website. Oh, Derek, I'm glad you've got it. Let me know what you think about it when you get there. So again, let's just go right into the corners. Somebody's trying to phone me like mad. You can see that buzzing. And then we'll do the same with the second piece. So warm down here again. Not complaining, But I drove back from the office this morning, and it was lovely and sunny. Then all of a sudden it just I chucked it down with it. I'm laughing because Gary got caught in it. He actually came inside and it was lovely and sunny and the sun was belting through. He says, it's a bit wet, drenched. Shouldn't laugh. Hello, Vandelleri Eduardo Leonardo. Oh, hello. She thought I was driving a car or what, way too fast. I've got, actually, it's down here, I've got a little brother, very basic sewing machine that cost me about £80 for the kids to learn on. I'm kind of thinking it might have been an idea to go for a cheaper computerised machine that has a speed control on it, because then you can control the speed by the slider on the machine, and they can put their foot down as much as they like and it won't go fast. I think that might be an idea. Olive's having sound hiccups. Anybody having sound hiccups? Hello, Deborah here for the first time. Hello, Patricia. Hello, Frank. How to thread and set up your sewing machine, please. Frank, if you have a look, seeing as you're there on YouTube, if you, ow, that was hot. If you go to videos, my videos on my YouTube channel and have a look at the kids section, I'm hoping it's not going to be patronising, but I do a video on there. There's a tour around said very basic sewing machine and how to thread it. So if you've never used a sewing machine before, I know it's aimed at kids, but if you've never used a sewing machine before, then you may find that useful. Most machines will thread up in the same way. So it's quite generic. Oh, it's a bit better than bingo, Nancy. Mind you, I've never played bingo. I don't really know. Hello, Chrissy. Lou can hear me perfectly. Olivan seems like you've got a problem. Tweak your hearing aid. Talking of which, I'm having my ears tested soon for a hearing aid. You know when you say pardon more than anything else and the kids shout at you. What? I'm watching this on TV. Okay. Got to that stage. Right. A sewing machine cushion. Where's that then? Oh, that one. I didn't know we'd put that there. It's quite an old one, that one. Hello Tracy in California, welcome along. So we're just making a bag to go with some bamboo handles. If you don't have the bamboo handles, well, if you want them, you can get them off our website. But if you don't, you could use doweling, make a handle out of that, I suppose. Put straps on the side, you don't have to have the wood going through it. So I'm just cutting out another piece of that 1/2 inch seam allowance, just the same as what I did before. So a lot of cutting for this bit, so bear with me. And then we'll need to cut 2 pieces of lining to the same size. Then we can put it together. So it's actually quite a quick bag to make. So what date are we? 7th. So has anybody made up your gardening bag projects from the Half Yard Club? It's that one there. The gardening bag and apron, which can be more than just a gardening bag. So don't forget to show your pictures if you have. I didn't look, to be honest. I normally have a look at your pictures in the mornings, but didn't this morning. These, Leanna, are Corbond dressmaking shears, and they're on my website, and they're £7.99, and they've been amazing. I was asked to trial them. I do tend to say what I think, because I'm not going to bring you something that I don't like. You know, I wouldn't want to sell you something that I didn't think was good enough. And when they sent them to me, I just thought, these are really nice, they're comfortable, they're left and right handed, I can fit my fingers through there, they're not too long that I can't open them all the way, and they do a really good job. Then I found out the price and I thought, no, they can't be any good. So, but they're lovely scissors, so those are the ones that I use. Sheena's fair enough. I was trying to make a sewing machine following me for me days. You tried to make a sewing machine? Is that a sewing machine dust cover? Keep it up, Sheena, because you'll get there. Get there. Everybody starts somewhere. Oh, hello. I'm in stereo in Helen's household. YouTube gone, has it? I've got it here. Hello, Lorna in South Africa. Julie's been cutting out a pattern. Good, Sheena. And yeah, keep it up. Everybody's a beginner at some point. The most qualified and the most experienced and the most brilliantest sewers, quilters, dressmakers, designers, whatever, all started somewhere, didn't they? Green for, oh, so I'm looking for my lining. You're not born a sewer. You have to practice. You have to love it, because you're not going to keep practicing at something that you don't like, are you? So, collected the fabrics and bits together to make the gardening bag. Lovely. I think it's a great idea as a craft bag as well, because it's nice big size. Linda's got me in stereo as well, YouTube and Facebook. Love technology. You can have me on the website as well if you like. See if I've missed anybody there. Sarah and Tina on the website. You're on your own, you two girls. Oh, thanks, Olivan. I hope you like them. I think they're fabulous. We have them in the office and here, and I've got them in the house as well, actually. Okay, let's cut this lining out. I can do both pieces together for this one, and then we'll start to sew it together. Foundation paper piece sewing machine. Hello, Sew Studio. That's Tracy. She's a beginner too. Not for long though. That's the thing. Once you get started. Hello, Heather. Taunton in Somerset. So this I'm cutting to the same size as the fabric. So I must remember when I sew the lining together that I've also got this 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I'm cutting through 2 pieces, so I've got 2 pieces of lining there as well. Chris is enjoying seeing the projects in the club. Oh, you're getting a couple of projects every month though, Chris, so we'll soon get through your stash, don't worry. Too much fabric. So books will come in handy. She says you both will come in handy, and it was a typo. Oh, now then, Zombare DJ Beatnik. Is that a real name? You sound like a pop star. Loves all the houses behind me. Those are member projects from the Half Yard Club. I know lots of you have made those up because I have seen the pictures. We've got quite a wonky town going on with all of these. We should have a wonky party, shouldn't we? I'm very good, thank you, Vanessa. Hope you are too. So it's a very simple bag to make, this one. So let's just finish off here, then we can start to sew it together. Just missed a bit there. Okay. So we'll take one of the outer pieces and one of the lining pieces, and we're going to sew these 2 right sides together. There you go. So there's lining, there's outer. Right sides together. We'll have a few pins in here if I can find them. Ow. And I'm just going to sew across here, around the flap, and back across there. So I'm not going down the sides at this point. So I'm putting pins in the side bits there. We'll have one in the top as well. And I'm going to sew up against the edge of the Decovil, not through it, doesn't matter if you catch it, but just around the edge of the Decovil, just across those sides like that. Hello, Sharon O'Connor. I didn't make this foldable iron mat, Debbie. That was one that we've got in the shop. Okay, so let's do. I'm on 2.2 stitch length, so quite short. And again, just threading the needle always helps. You don't get very far without it. Okay, here we go. So right along, let's see if you can see this, the edge of the Decovil. If you do catch it a little bit, it doesn't really matter, but if you can just follow right along the edge, would be ideal. Needle down, turn around, and back down again. I must have a day of filming actually for YouTube. There's so many things that I need to do.
Coffee?
I would love a cup of coffee, yes please.
No one else?
Don't.
Anybody else?
No, no.
Are you on your own?
Honestly. Yeah, no, nobody's watching today, nobody's there. Denise, they may be out of stock actually. We've had a very busy weekend. So I'll double check on that one. If they are out of stock, Corbond are very good at delivering. So if I order some more today, what day is it? Wednesday. They should be here. They should be here Friday. So keep looking out for them. If they're not there, I can get some back in very quickly because they're only down the road from me in Grantham. I could pick them up, couldn't I? Right. So again, just around the top bit. So that was a wobbly bit. So that's happens when I go too fast. All right. I'll show you what I did wrong then when I've just done this. You know, I put a pin in the top. I didn't pin all the way through it, look, and I folded the fabric back. So I just need to fold that back and do it again. More pins necessary, I think. Not the end of the world, is it? Right. So we'll pin it and then sew it again. That's my handle about to go. So the thing with sewing the Decovil like this, it doesn't kind of flow on the table, it knocks everything off because it's quite stiff. And there we are, and then back down this side again. That'll do it. Okay. So I've got the flap. Oh, I've missed it again. What have I done there? Bear with me because for some reason that hasn't sewn and I don't know why. Machine error. Now sometimes your needle comes undone. This one didn't. Don't know what that was about. There! Well, third time lucky we've done it. So literally across the top, round there, round there. I'm going to snip into the corners here, up to the stitches but not through, up to that one. And then I'm just going to trim back the fabric across the pointy bits, just to cut down on the bulk when we turn this the right side out. And then we shall repeat with the second side. There we go. So again, right sides together. I'm sewing from this side because I'm sewing up against the Decovil. Make sure you've got enough pins all the way around so I know that fabric isn't folded backwards. You only do these things once, don't you? Morag. It's gone Morag. It's, you know, one of these days when we have a sewing cafe, he'll walk through the door to bring me a cup of coffee and there'll be all of you lot there going, gin and tonic, I'll have a tea please. Frighten the life out of him, wouldn't it? Karen's waiting for a pink package. Should all be on the way now, Karen. I actually left Kim at the office at about 1 o'clock today, battling through all of your orders, and she did text me just before we came here, actually, just saying we're up to date. So mind you, if you've ordered in the last few hours, we won't be up to date, will we? But certainly anything that you've ordered over the weekend and the beginning of the week, that should be going out now. Right. Lots of pins. You can pin through Decovil. It doesn't mind. but fabric clips may make it a little bit easier because it's quite stiff. Magnetic as well, these scissors. I've just realised. Oh, is there some sporting event going on? We've got about 3 houses down. There's a pub with a beer garden. I can hear. What? Could I please ask that you include closed captioning for your videos? I don't know how to do that, Linda. I know on YouTube you can choose whether you have captions or not. I don't know whether you can do that on Facebook. Whether I do it or you do it, I shall look into it. Unless anybody else knows anything about closed captioning, it's not something I've looked into before. But do let me know. Rita has a pink parcel. Now, I must admit, not all parcels are pink. If it's in a padded envelope, they're white. But it should have a pink label on it. 3 little purses and pencil cases, says Sarah. I like a small project. Something that you can just start and finish and it's done. Oh, it's Roger Federer. Oh, right. I'm lucky to get me coffee at all then. I don't really follow sports, you can probably tell. I don't know who these people are. Hello, Zenab from Dubai. Nice to have you along. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Colette's a bit late. Never mind. I have to go now. Oh, see you, Debbie. I shall catch up with you later on, or I shall see you again on Saturday if you're around on Saturday morning. Mary, the Decovil's lovely, isn't it? I think it's a little bit intimidating when you first get it home because it's so thick. You just think, how on earth am I going to sew through this? I would advise bigger projects if it's the first time using it. I find it difficult, if you're making a makeup bag or something that kind of size, it can be a little bit tricky to turn through because it's so stiff. But for a big one, for a big bag, I think it's perfect. Right, snip off those corners. Then we're going to take both of these pieces and sew them right sides together. So open them up like so. And the outer pieces right sides together. So I want to make sure that the seam here matches, because you'll notice if it doesn't. It does look rather grey on that screen, doesn't it? I shall have a word with my husband. Foundation paper piecing. Oh, in a nutshell, Alana, it's your pattern is printed onto paper, and then you put your fabric over the lines on the paper, sew through the paper, then take the paper off. It gives you very angular. Have I got an example? I don't. It's on one of the blocks, on one of the block of the months from the Half Yard Club. There's a panel there, but it gives you. You can create some really sharp angles with it. It looks amazing, but I think you need a bit of patience to do it. Not sure I have. Right in there. So I'm just making sure that the Decovil, the edge of the Decovil is meeting, so not necessarily the fabric, but you can kind of feel where that is anyway. Just move that along a bit. That's it. There, I'll do that for now. Okay, so I'm going to sew from the edge of the Decovil here all the way around. So I don't want to really overlap those stitches onto the lining. So I'm just being careful where I start and go forward and a few stitches backwards to secure, and then away we go. Should have put the pins in the other way around so they're easy to take out. Laptop bags for the children, that's a nice idea. I'm going to do a laptop bag for next month's Half Yard Club project, which of course could be a messenger bag. If you haven't got a laptop, it doesn't have to be a laptop bag. I don't like things to be just single use. I'm just going to have a zip pocket on the front of it as well, so it should be quite useful. unless I've done something wrong, we seem to have disappeared off the website for a second, so apologies. If I have, you don't know, do you? So I don't know who I'm apologising to. Sarah and Tina, probably. See you, Christine. Enjoy your tea. I'll see you again on Saturday. So again, it doesn't matter if you cache a little bit of the Decovil, but you will get a nice neat seam if you can just sew along the edge of it. Just gone a little bit too far that way, that's fine. And back down again. I don't know what I was sticking my pin in there, my coffee I think. Right, back down this side, show you what I'm doing. And right back up to this seam here, right at the top of the Decovil, and a couple of stitches backwards. Right, Gladys, hello, welcome along. I'm making a bag to go with my bamboo handles. Right, now this is going to go that way, and then we're going to sew the lining. So move the flaps out of the way, move the whole of that side out of the way, and then we're going to start sewing from this seam here so it matches, so right up against where I stopped sewing that one. I'm going to start sewing this one, and then we'll go all the way around, but this time we need to leave a gap in the base so we can turn it. So again, I'm using that 1/2 inch seam allowance. It doesn't really matter what the seam allowance is as long as it's uniform. Bottom of the line isn't quite right. I didn't disappear, says Tin. But our screen went blank, that's all. I don't know why. So quite a big turning gap, I think. So I'm just going to reverse there, cut the thread, whoops, move across about 8 inches or so, and then we'll carry on sewing. And back down the final side. Oh, that's a good idea, Derek. Oh, it should be quite popular then, shouldn't it? I must do a shoulder pad thing for it as well, because laptops can be quite heavy, aren't they? Right, it's gone all dark in the Midlands. It's lovely here. Hello, hello Maria H. Got to head out to a sewing software club. Oh, that sounds interesting. Have a nice time. See you again next week. So when I come back up here, I need to stop sewing again at the same point so my seams meet. Right, then we're going to square off the bottom. So let's squish this so that the side seam sits over the base seam, like so. I'm not worried about seam allowances going in any direction or another. And can you see what I'm doing there? It's all in dark and rain in the Scottish border. We had torrential rain for about a minute earlier on, Derek. It was really quite odd. I'm going to make a 2-inch triangle. So I've got the straight bit of my ruler there, measure 2 inches across, and just draw a line there and sew straight across. If you can see that okay. And I'm doing it this way rather than cutting out square shapes in the corners, because the bottom of the bag isn't actually square, because we tapered it right at the beginning, if you remember. So that's the corner all sewn across. Let's chop that off, and we need to do the same on all 4 corners. A tropical storm in Jacksonville in Florida, says Liz. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Oops. Oh, now then, I seem to have dropped one of my handles. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Gary's probably still watching tennis. If you're not watching the tennis, hun, can I have my bamboo handle back? In my new studio, if ever we move house, I'm having a bigger table. I'm going to have a bigger area until we get a chance to build a new studio. We will build a new studio. But we're actually going to use a rather large room there with a very high ceiling. So we're going to use that for now. Chop that off. So both corners are squared. Then we need to do the same on the lining. Linda, yeah, I've got arthritis in my knuckles, so they do get very sore. I tend to ignore it and eat lots of avocados. I'm not going to measure and mark those because I can kind of see what I'm doing, but you know what to do. 2 inches from the corner, sew straight across. Thunder. Ooh. Hello. Did you hear me? What's the matter?
I heard you wanted to.
Oh, it did. As my son heard that I wanted something, but he didn't know what. See, I've got one of those, and I've dropped it down here in the drawer, and I'm tied to my equipment, so I can't pick it up. Thank you. Oh. Thank you. Oh. I don't know what I would have had a one-handled handbag. Well, it's not the first time I've done a one-handled handbag, is it? And the same in the opposite corner. That's sweet of you. He's just standing there with a big grin on his face. He wanted something. Didn't hear what you wanted. A heavy-duty Duke. Oh, sorry. Talking amongst yourselves. I love it when you do that. It's seriously, it's kind of, it's very warm. Sarah says hello. He's gone again. It's very much turning into the, I was going to say little community, but it's big community, isn't it? He still works on the TV team. He doesn't like going on TV very often there. Oh, I seem to have frozen on the website with a very strange look on my face. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Yeah, I love it when you see see the same regular people coming back every week, because we get so many of you now that are here every Wednesday and every Saturday morning, recognise your names. More and more of you are chipping in and saying hello, which I think is wonderful. But it's also nice when you talk amongst yourselves as well, and that happens an awful lot now. Jean's had a pink parcel and a book. Right. We're going to turn it the right side out now. So, I hope I've left the hole big. And this is what I mean about Decovil being a little bit stiff. It irons beautifully, so don't worry about everything getting creased up, because it's bound to. I'm a frozen on YouTube as well. You always freeze with a stupid look on your face, though. Have you ever noticed that? I'm a frozen on that. Nancy, I'm a frozen on YouTube. I'm not frozen on my YouTube. I'm frozen on the website. Funny, isn't it? Apparently, when we do move, the internet's supposed to be a bit quicker than here. YouTube's fine. Thank you, Charlie. Maybe it's the thunderstorm. Oh, look, I'm back on the website again. Until when it's warm, my hair gets straighter and straighter as we go. So my phone was going like crazy down here. I was PAF. Oh, I used to have a PAF passport. Lovely little machine. I always glance down at the messages just in case it's any of the kids, you know. It would have to be something very important to have a text in the middle of a live, but you have to be aware, don't you? This is good for your hands. Make sure you leave the hole big enough. Would you cut the bow smaller than the fabric? I didn't for that one. Was it Sarah? Sorry, you've gone. Did I cut the bow smaller than the fabric for the bag? No, I didn't. I sewed straight through the seams. With bow I find it quite easy to do that. I think on some occasions, if I'm making a bag like this one, it's very easy to cut the pattern out of bow and then cut the fabric bigger. I find it very difficult or very fiddly to actually trim the bow back so it's smaller than the fabric, so I didn't bother. And you can't, it doesn't make any difference. You can still get it underneath your sewing machine really easily. Tina's living in the same village as Dan. Was in Dan for years. Oh, how lovely! He's a lovely man. I'm actually moving to Cambridgeshire, so I'm not too far from where we are now. Well, I say moving. We're not getting anywhere at the moment, so I'm beginning to lose the will with all of this moving house business. Right, it is stiff, okay, to push this in. It's worth it because the structure that it gives your bag is really lovely. It's worth it, as they say. So push out those corners. So to me, it's nice and stiff. It gives you a really good firm bag. And it does iron very well. It does look like a crumpled piece of paper at the moment. I shall show you. So all of this just needs ironing back down again, which I shall do in just a second. Let's poke out this bit here. Yes, more rag. I think if my hole was any smaller, it would have cracked a few stitches deliberately to make it bigger. That's the flap coming through. And the same on this side. Oh, Linda's back from the dentist with a numb mouth. Oh, not nice. I like a good storm Tonya when we're inside looking at it, not when you get caught in, or driving through storms isn't very nice at all. Okay, let's get this finger press. Let's sew that opening close first. Take a break from this. Sarah, I'm going to try and fit the move in around the lives. I may not have much of a backdrop or a studio, but I enjoy these. If it turns out that we're moving on a Wednesday, they're just going to have to wait till Thursday, aren't they? So I'm hoping to have some kind of, even if it's on my phone and we don't actually get around to doing any sewing, we'll do something. We'll have a chat about something or other. Can't not do that. We could be in the back of the removals van going live, couldn't we? Joan, the way that I calculated the size of the flap, trial and error really, there's a 6-inch gap in between those two pieces, and that's where the flap's going to wrap around. So that's the size I cut the Decovil, which means that when I cut the fabric bigger and the seam allowances around the edge of the 6 inches, that's the size that the flap is going to be. And then I just measured how far I thought it should go over the top. So if you make a bag that's smaller, maybe cut it out in paper first, or a scrap piece of fabric, and just cut out the shape and fold it over and see what you think it looks like, basically. I should have poked out the end of this flap first, shouldn't I? Before I sewed the end up. Hello, Joe. Bit late, not to worry. At least you're here. Let's just poke the end of that out there. That'll do. That one's fine. And then let's press it. Now remember, this is going to fold over like that, so this is the side I want to look the neatest. Let's put the lining inside. Push it right into the corners. And then we'll fold this over. Oops. Morag, I'll try to. I've got a whole list of things that I want to do on YouTube, so I was going to do like dedicated YouTube videos on just how to do all of the projects I've been doing recently, so I can put the measurements on screen and have them in centimetres and inches as well. But you have to bear with me a little bit, because I just haven't had time to do anything at the moment. It's your fault. You know, you keep buying stuff off the website. Yeah, I will get around to doing that. Let's put the mat inside, and I'm just going to press the edge here. I don't actually mind a little bit of that green showing through of the lining. Hello Amanda, welcome along. Doesn't matter if you're late, friends are more important than a bit of sewing, aren't they? Let's roll that under. Just press a bit more of this while we're here as well. I've actually got down at the house they call it a tailor's ham, but I made one specifically for bag making, which is in my So Useful book, I think. So it's like a ham, but it's got a really big square base, so you can push it right into the base of a bag and get the corners nice and square. Nearly there. This will benefit, I think, from going on the big ironing board and having a blast of steam from my generator. Right, so that's how we are. Should we top stitch? Yes, we should top stitch, shouldn't we? So I'm just going to change the colour of my thread because I've got white in there at the moment, and I think it should be green to go around the top. I've got a spare bobbin. Do bear with me while I just see if I've got a bobbin to go in here. Yes, I do. I want white on the bottom and green on the top. Let me just thread that up. Kirkham. Oh, talking to Leslie. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Tonya. It is actually very simple, but I kind of like explaining where I get the measurements from and how to come about it, because then you can just go and make your own. So if you wanted a bigger bag or a smaller bag, if you're using these handles, I would suggest that 6-inch flux. It fits really nicely. That'll do it. But you can make the base of it round. You could have it a lot shorter, so maybe a little bit more of an evening bag. So, but it might be an idea. Oh, sneeze! Like I said before, to just make one up without the lining. Just out of scrap fabric, so you get an idea of what the bag looks like. And if you are squaring the base, then how big those corners need to be stitched across to make the base as big as you want, or if you don't want to square the base, what it's going to look like. So we can all be our own bag designers. Lengthen the stitch so it'll come across very sneezy, I don't know why. And then we'll sew around the edge. Ironing Celia. It is the beauty, isn't it, Zakaya, that you can watch these time and time again. Right, I'm going to sew around the edge of the flaps. Let me show you there. And again, this is going to be on the outside of the bag, so I've changed the colour to green because it doesn't stand out quite so much. And I'll try and keep that as neat as I can, because you'll see these stitches. And back down again. Should we go all the way around? Well, we may as well while we're there, haven't we? So I'll be sewing from the inside on this bit. Just fold that over. There we go. We'll stop with the needle down when we're doing this, so that as you're manoeuvring the bag around, you know that the needle's staying in the same place. And you will get to the stage where there's a lot of bulk on this side, but worry about where the needle's going into the fabric, not at these strange positions that you can torture yourself into. Yoga and sewing go very well together, I think. Right, round to the second flap. Into the point. And then I'm going to cover a couple of buttons. Oh, look what I did. I pressed the wrong button. Well, my scissors fell on the button. Do apologise. Right, thank you for pointing that out. Let's see if we can get rid of those. Oh geez, hopefully that will do the trick. We're not a dating site, are we? I think some of these are quite funny. Right, let's go back down there. Dating site, come on. Okay, almost there. So back down into the corner here. And all the way around. See, that's where I normally have Lisa with the spanner, but Lisa does Saturdays for me. Wednesdays are a bonus. Almost there. Again, very, very strange positions to get into, but whatever it takes. Back to the beginning. Okay, so let me just trim off those end bits. Make it neat here. There we go, so let's get my handles. So that's going to thread through there and then fold over like that. I think we'll leave a little bit of a gap so that that's not too tight. The width of the bag, by the way, I was telling you how I measured the flap to go in the middle at being 6 inches. I did want the sides of the bag to be wider than the handle, so that I've got plenty of room to actually open it as well. So that was the idea, that was deliberate. What I'm going to do is to put a little bit of wet glue on there, if I can find it. Here we go. So now this is up to you. It depends how what kind of weight you're going to put in here. For me, a little bit of wet glue is going to hold that absolutely fine. If you wanted to sew straight through there, maybe put a few small stitches backwards and forwards. I'm going to put a button over the top here, so that'll hold it in place. Either would work. If you're going to put a lot of weight on it, then I would suggest that you, in fact you can glue and sew, there wouldn't be a problem there. Okay, I know you can't see that, bear with me just a second. Thank you, Sarah, glad you like it. There's my glue on the floor. So let's arrange the handles so that they sit nice and square. And then, do I have a weight of some sort? No, I think we'll be fine. I'll leave that to dry while we just cover a couple of buttons. And again, I'm going to glue these on. Cold coffee. We have the handles back in stock, Rhonda. They came back in stock this morning, so we should still have some. Jules, we haven't got any plans at the moment, but I shall pass that on to my daughter, who does all the buying, and ask her to look out for some. So I've got a couple of buttons that don't match at all, so I'm going to cover them in this fabric so that it kind of ties in. So I'll need just a couple of circles of spare fabric that are maybe twice the size of the buttons. Doesn't have to be a perfect circle, as long as it's bigger than the button, you'll be fine. Then we'll have a hand sewing needle and thread. We will, if we can find one in here. Oh, that's got a tiny eye, I'll never be able to thread that. That's better. And I'm just going to put it's got a knot in it already, a running stitch around the edge of the fabric. You could put a little bit of wadding or padding, or even a bit of felt over the top of the button to pad it out a bit if you like. Hi Maribel, welcome along, nice to hear from you. Thank you, Nancy. You should know that our fabric's amazing because you have most of it. Oh, that would have been a good idea, Denise, underneath the sewing machine foot. Never thought about that one. Glad you like the wonky houses, Tracy. I'd love to see what you've done with them as well. I haven't seen a wonky shop yet, but I think that would be a nice idea. Right, so, and I'm only going to glue these on. These are purely cosmetic, so it's going to be a lot easier to glue them on than it is to sew them on. So I've gathered up like that. That goes inside there. And let's just pull that together. And we'll put a couple of stitches across here just to secure it. Whoa! So it's nice and tight. I think that will do. Then we'll do the same with the other one. Hello, Kathy in California. Tracy, fancy you noticing that? I have changed my nail varnish. I shocked my nail technician to death. I've worn the same nail varnish for years. In fact, this was my first one. And the next one, I must have been wearing the same nail varnish for about 4 years. And I went to see her on Saturday. And she said, oh, same colour again. I said, no, I'm going to go different. Well, different as in I'll have the same one that I used to have. Fancy you noticing what you like? I think I need some more thread in that one. So do the same again with the other button. With the wonky people. I know, I must have told you before, I wrote a ditty about Wonky Town. And there was Wonky Wendy at number 4, and I was saying to Kim, I started reading it to her when I was writing it. I was saying I'm going to do Wonky Wendy, and then Wonky Willie's going to live next door. She can't have a character called Wonky Willie. So he ended up as Wonky Stan. Oh no! Cataracts, Leslie. My mum had her cataracts done. She was like being born again when she could see afterwards. Right. So again, let me show you what I'm doing. Just doing that running stitch around the edge, gather it up, and then you've got a nice little covered button. I could have fussy cut that if I'd have thought. Let's just go around here, and had a leaf in the centre. It's not really the kind of print to fussy cut for buttons, is it? Susan's just bought me Build a Bag book. That's nice. Oh, I hope you like it. Don't forget to post your pictures. Okay, won't be long. And it's a nice way of using up buttons that you don't know what to do with. I've got so many boxes of buttons and they'll never go with anything, but when you cover them, who knows what they're like on the inside. Glad you like it, shirt. I think these buttons are going to make the difference, really. Whoops, that's not... Miss the fabrics and not looking what I'm doing. Watching you lot. Okay, doesn't matter how tatty this is on the back because it's going to be glued down anyway. So it'll look like a fastening. Yes, Joe, I did. I was explaining earlier on, I had a lovely sewing day with my granddaughter. We made a little felt bag and then we made a felt doll, and then I think she'd had enough. There was far more important things to do than sewing after that, but I'm amazed she sat still for long enough to do that, to be honest. Susan's just ordered 2 lots of handles, thank you very much. So I can't wait to see what you've been making with them as well. I mean, it may be exactly this bag, or you might think, oh no, I'd make one like this. So show me pictures, can't wait to see. I like these bits as well, Hayley. Hayley says it's all about the finishing touches and the little bits. I like doing this. It's a bit like putting the icing on a cake. I'd much rather ice a cake than make a cake. I like the fiddly bits. Oh, that's a nice idea, Nancy. You've got a 50-year-old daughter. Gosh. All right, how's your granddaughters getting on with their sewing, and your granddaughter's boyfriend and husband getting on with theirs as well? Nancy is one by one converting every member of her family into sewing. Gladys, there isn't a pattern for it. I kind of made it up as I go along. So if you go right, there we go, Gluey, back to the beginning of the video when we've finished, all of the instructions and the measurements are on there. Never a scrap around when you want one, is there? I should be picking glue off my fingers for the rest of the evening now. See, I wouldn't stitch the buttons on, Helene. You could do, in which case stitch it on before you stitch. Well, you can't. You could stitch the button on. I was going to say you could stitch the button on before you put the flap down. I'll just let that dry a bit. But if you're stitching the button, you probably want to stitch the flap, and you need to do that before you put the button on. So I'd glue it anyway, I think. Even if I was using a button that I'd already got, I'd still glue it, but put some thread through the holes of the button first of all. Just wind it through the hole so it looks as though it's stitched on, and then glue it. Anne wants to join the club. You can have a month for free, Anne, if you want to have a look. If you go to allthew's.halfyardsewingclub.com, you'll have to go all the way through to putting in your details and your credit card details and everything, because that's like any other website. That's the way that it works. But then on the coupon bar right at the end, if you put in the word welcome in capital letters, you'll get a month for free. You will have an email as you come in towards the end of that month, just to give you a reminder that if you don't want to carry on, then you'll need to cancel it, but you can do that yourself. So you can either go for a monthly subscription, which is $5.99 a month, or $9.95 I think, or a yearly, which is £60. So you get 2 months for free if you join for a year, and you can opt out anytime you like. You're not tied in for any amount of time. But when you do join up, you will have 2 years worth of projects, which is for 48 projects. 24 of those that have videos, 24 won't, and then you've got 3 block of the months as well. Thank you, Kate. Very hot in Spain. It's quite humid here today, Mary. Okay. Buttonhole, of course, Alice. Buttonhole on the flap would be ideal. I'm not going to sew the flaps, Ellen. Sorry, was that Ellen? The glue that I'm using is really strong. Carol, sorry. For me, that's going to be enough. It depends what you're going to use it for. If you're going to carry something heavy in it, then yes, sew as well. I would sew underneath the button and just do a little cross or a box shape under there, then cover the stitches up so it just looks as though it's been buttoned through. And that's that finished. It's nice, isn't it? So that was actually my daughter's idea when I was saying I'm going to make a different style of bag with those handles. She said, oh, do one that goes through the middle, but she wanted to see one with something that went through the middle. So that's exactly what she's got there. Button makes a difference, doesn't it? Really finishes it off. I'm really pleased with that. Actually, a little row of stitches underneath here would keep the handles in place. So it's the first time I made this, so you always learn something afterwards, don't you? So I could sew straight across, or I could put some glue onto the handles to keep them there as well. Depends how much you like gluing and how much you like sewing. With bags, I don't have a problem with gluing at all because they're not going to go in the washing machine. With bags, you tend to spot clean them. So glue tends to be a really good option for putting accessories and handles and things like that on. So I hope you like it. Again, I will get round to making dedicated videos of the things that I've been doing in the lives. I keep saying this and I just haven't had time to do it, so do bear with me. I need a couple of days complete to do the filming and the editing and get them all uploaded, so I will get there, just a bit busy at the moment. Thanks, Mary. Thank you, Karen. Hello. Alexis is all done now, Alexis, we're going, but thank you for making the effort. I shall see you again next week. Let me just see who's on the website. My website, I can't see a thing on there, so everything's black. So, oh, thank you, Sarah, you're there. We've had a nice yatter, haven't we? We're making no excuses for the yattering at all. Okay, what's coming up here? I think we're up to date there. Thank you, Helene. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Sheena. Still got they're about to sneeze face. Okay, well, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm back again, I don't know what I'm doing yet, on Saturday morning, best breath, at 11 o'clock, so we'll be making something else. I'm not sure what. Again, if you want to buy the handles, they've only gone on the website today, so we should have them in stock. I've got a feeling they're going to sell out again, but there you go, that's what happens. If you can't make Saturday, I shall see you again next Wednesday afternoon. Remember, it's 4 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon. So I hope you like the bag, and take care of yourself and carry on sewing, and I shall see you again very, very soon.